Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of B2B Breakfast to Business, where we talk shop, we talk life, we talk advocacy, and we talk real. This is your morning girl, Bea Lim, President and CEO of TeamAsia, bringing you another fresh episode, Breakfast Conversation on B2B. Today, we are spotlighting a company that's making remarkable strides in digital transformation and making sure that our talents are in tip-top shape to rise up to the challenge of our tech-driven world. We have Pointwest, a company that has remained at the forefront of digital transformation for over 2 decades, and Pointwest's holistic approach to solving business challenges through digital transformation, data analytics, cloud computing, and AI truly sets them apart. We will explore their expanding global vision and how they leverage international market experience to build robust business relationships and deliver tailored solutions to their clients worldwide. They also have really cool projects and partnerships that highlight their commitment to driving our tech world forward. At the helm of Pointwest, of course, is Chief Executive Officer Mitch, whose visionary leadership has been instrumental in driving the company's innovative approach and global expansion. For over 25 years, Mitch has worked with some of the world's leading organizations across a wide range of industries and markets to drive business-led and technology-enabled transformation. Prior to joining Pointwest, he founded and led Top Partners, an angel investment firm and advisory group operating in high-growth developing markets. And before that, he spent actually 20 years with Accenture as a managing director, holding numerous leadership roles with their consulting and business operations across North America, Latin America, and Asia. Ladies and gents, without further ado, I am bringing to the B2B airwaves Mr. Mitch, CEO of Pointwest. Hi, Mitch. Good morning. And how are you?
Hello. I am good. I'm actually feeling super excited and energized. I just came out of a board meeting and we had an opportunity to take a step back and we reviewed where have we been over the last 6 months, what momentum have we built, and where are we going? And every time I have a conversation that's about the future, I can't help but get excited.
Absolutely. And Mitch, I'm feeling that wonderful energy. It's always a good thing to actually see our progress really, happening as we push our vision point to point. And because you're so excited, Mitch, I want to check in, what are the cool things that are happening at Pointwest at the moment? You did say that you're really happy with the progress. So maybe let's shed light on Pointwest and its growth area.
Yeah, well, I stepped into my role about 10 months ago. And when I did, we laid out a vision. We call it Mount Apo, the tallest peak in the Philippines. And our goal over the next 5 years is to really scale the business to new heights. And we're, 6 months into the year. It's incredible how quickly the year's gone by. And I can't help but feel that wind to our backs. We've established a new set of strategic partnerships in some of our key markets, like in the US. We've launched some really cool new offerings in healthcare, in AI. We sponsored some really cool events where we're literally trying to build the next generation of AI talent here in the Philippines. And we just won. We were recognized as one of the top 30 companies to work for in the Philippines. So really excited to see that we're moving the needle in all the areas that I think are important to be able to help us truly scale Mount Apo.
That's awesome, Mitch. Well, first of all, congratulations. Mount Apo project or mission seems absolutely fantastic. Just the visualization of reaching that highest speed is already so inspirational. And I'm hearing that, Pointwest is really committed to 3 things, right? It's about being able to scale businesses and reaching new markets, but it's also about people, right? And making sure that we not only drive our current talent pool, but also equipping the next generation to keep us sustainable. And just knowing that Pointwest is a fantastic workplace that enables this is just absolutely amazing. So congratulations, Mitch and Pointwest, on that. Super.
Yeah, thank you. I say that we're a people company, and this is really about relationships that we build every day. Those are relationships with our customers, relationships with our partners, relationships with our people. And at the end of the day, we've got to give every one of those stakeholders a reason to come back and be with us. I also think that they're going to help keep us honest because they're going to require us every day to go out there and re-earn it and continue to raise the bar. And I think that for me is what's so important. You never focus on just what you've done. You really need to keep pushing yourself to be more, to do more. And I think as long as we do that, we're going to guarantee a great future for our people, for our customers, for the business.
That's awesome. And Mitch, Pointwest has been there for over 2 decades. And I can see that just having that kind of mindset, really pushing to do more. And I'm so proud to be partners of Pointwest as well. Mitch, earlier you did talk about coming into the role early this year, about 10 months ago. And it's just been very exciting for you, as we've heard the past couple of minutes. And I know when you and I first met and we started talking about the future, you kept on saying about the importance of staying ahead of the curve, by having actually turnkey solutions at the speed of digital. And that really, stuck with me, Mitch. So I want people to learn about the story behind what's at the speed of digital or why it's so important.
I mean, I think we live in a world today where everything is essentially real time. And I think that what we're experiencing when we're engaging on a device on the internet is setting a broader expectation for how quickly we expect the world to work. And I think when you look at technology as an example, it is evolving at such a rapid pace, far faster than ever before. I mean, 18, 24 months ago, nobody really knew what Gen AI was, Chat GPT, as an example. And today, you can't look anywhere without finding evidence of Gen AI being embedded, whether it's in our phone, it's in a chatbot. And so that's just one example. And the reality is that we have to, as a company, continue to evolve in order to ensure that we are at least keeping pace with that technology to be able to truly unlock the value that it represents. I think technology by itself isn't going to do anything. You need to be able to power that up. You power it up with processes, you power it up with people, you power it up with culture. And I think for us as a business, that means that we are very proud of the last 21 years that we've served our markets and our customers. But we also understand that in the same way that their requirements and needs have evolved and technology has evolved, we too as a business need to evolve. And more than anything else, that means that we have to move at the speed of digital, and we have to focus on delivering true transformation. That's what I think the market expects. And that is where we see our mission every day, waking up and wanting to deliver that transformation for our customers at the speed of digital.
Fabulous. Thank you for sharing that, Mitch, as well. I love the formula that you just shared, right? That while technology is fast approaching, you have tech powered with people, processes, and culture. And that holistic approach actually also allows you to, or sets you apart, right? With the things that are happening around us. You also touched on a lot of tech that we're really seeing as buzzwords. You said it yourself: AI, cloud computing, data analytics. These are things that we hear dominate conversations, right? Whether it's at work or even at play. And my big question is, how does Pointwest integrate all these to deliver solutions for your clients?
I mean, I think what's so important is to be able to start first, not with the technology, but to be able to start first with what's the business objective, the business challenge, or the business problem? What are those outcomes that really matter most? Is it revenue? Is it cost savings? Is it creating a differentiated experience for customers? Is it improving compliance and control? But I think that too often we start with the technology solution. And at the end of the day, you may have a really compelling solution with a lot of bells and whistles and sirens, but yet it doesn't deliver what you were intending it for. And so I think that's where the key is, to be able to truly be a partner where we're co-developing solutions and we're starting with the end, the outcomes, and then working backwards to really define what is that solution. And technology, of course, has to enable it, but it is not going to be the sole component of that solution as well. And I think that as we do that, it will naturally drive this integration that you talked about, a more holistic approach to driving the outcomes that really matter most.
Absolutely. And I hear you in terms of being sure that as we create these solutions, we are co-developing them with our clients, with our partnership, so that we can really see what they need. And speaking of that one, Mitch, do you have like any example or case study of maybe a partnership that you had with a client where co-developing these solutions has actually led to really positive results that everybody's proud of, or that have really impacted their businesses positively?
Yeah, I mean, so recently we worked with a global pharmaceutical company. And one of the challenges that they had was that, they literally had pharmaceutical products, prescription drugs sitting in a warehouse in many parts of the world that were expiring because they were not able to get matched up quickly to demand in the market. And that was a function of not being able to quickly, correctly forecast where there's going to be demand and how to supply that demand. And so we worked collaboratively with our client in this case to be able to develop a bottom-up analytics solution. And as part of that, it's not just developing the algorithms, but it's also developing the user interface so that it's easy for the business user, without requiring them to be a data scientist or a spreadsheet jockey, to quickly access that data and be able to generate the insights needed to make real-time decisions about how to manage their supply chain. So that's one example. We just recently worked with a local, very large shipping and logistics company that is continuing to significantly scale their business. And to do that, they need to have a much more digital platform that gives them the ability to create a more seamless experience for their customers, to be able to more efficiently manage delivery routes so that what you order gets to you on time, but it also is optimizing that route to minimize fuel consumption. It's good for the environment, as well. And that's creating for our client an opportunity to truly scale their business, deliver higher levels of efficiency, and differentiate themselves, because it's so much easier now to be able to engage with them than with some of their competitors. And we did that as well, not in an ivory tower or somewhere in a back office, but in a room, shoulder to shoulder, at a whiteboard, really understanding for each of their customer segments, what are those needs, what are those requirements, and how do we best address them?
That's fantastic. And you not only shared one, but two examples, Mitch, of really these solutions coming to life and making, things not just better, but also impacting the growth, right? Or the business objectives of the clients. And you mentioned earlier that at the end of the day, it's not just about the solutions, but what really is the core business objective or goal that we need to push out, right? And Mitch, you talked about being shoulder to shoulder in a room, co-developing these solutions. What are the benefits of actually really co-developing solutions with your clients or partners? Like, what does that bring to the table?
I mean, it brings so much. I mean, I think that, number one is nobody out there has all the answers. So I think that there's an awful lot of benefit of having that diversity of experience, diversity of perspective. And the fact of the matter is, when you're partnering, Pointwest can bring an outside looking in perspective that then gets balanced with the inside looking out perspective that our clients have. And, I think that that ultimately leads to a solution that is not just exactly right, that aligns with the expectations and requirements, but I think really importantly, it results in a solution that is owned by our clients. And I think that's so important because, today companies all around the world are literally spending billions of dollars on shelfware, solutions that they intended to deliver, but yet for various reasons haven't, because they've not had that adoption of end users. And we've seen it so many times where a company will go and make an investment in building out a new platform or a new application, or they'll introduce a new mobile app for their customers. And it looks great and the technology is really exciting, but it just hasn't been adopted. And I think that when you're co-solutioning, you're working through those issues and you're navigating change, before you fully step into it, which I think guarantees that there's going to be that adoption, that ownership. And I think that is for the most important, aspect, knowing that for every dollar that I spend, I'm going to generate a return because my people are going to use it and they're going to own it and feel like it is theirs to make better going forward.
And I feel that just having that ownership, Mitch, already makes a difference, right? Like, it's not just a one-off thing. It's something that, hey, we've done this together. Having the different perspectives or experiences in that solution allows us to also open up other opportunities, right? To answer the business objective that made us come together in the first place. Now, we also talked, Mitch, about how there's so many things happening around the world, right? And all of these solutions moving forward, or driving us to do more. How does Point West actually keep up with those trends and tech solutions? Because I hear you, Mitch, at the end of the day, we are focused on the business objectives that we need to answer, but there's also that need for, like what you said, the right technology. How does Point West keep up with those trends?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's a full-time job. I mean, this technology is just evolving at such an incredibly fast pace. I think that, what's really important is to be able to sort through it and really differentiate what's hype, versus what's real. And to also take what we call a fit for purpose approach to solutioning with technology. And what that means is that we don't need something that is over engineered. You don't need all the bells and the whistles necessarily. It's important to tailor. And that's one of the things that through co-solutioning we are able to do. And I think that for us, it is important through our partner relationships, as an example, through our client relationships, as another example, through our own internal team, to continue to stay on top of what's changing, what it means, how best to truly operationalize that for our customers in a way that adds value versus just is a gimmick. And I think that that is one of the challenges because there's an awful lot of reaction to that new shiny tool. And people can get distracted. They can believe the hype. They can think that that by itself is going to be the magic bullet that they've been searching. It wasn't that long ago that with robotic process automation, people thought that that would change the world. And I think as we soon saw, it is wonderful to be able to automate a process only if that process adds value, if that process is needed to begin with. And if not, don't automate it, eliminate it. And also find that human in the loop role that's needed to be able to create even more value. So don't stop at just making something faster or more efficient, make it better. And that's, I think, what we're trying to do every day is to stay on top of what's changing and understand what that really means and how we assemble all these Lego bricks to be able to maximize the value for our customers.
Mitch, this is just gold, right? What you're sharing is gold because there is that shiny silver thing syndrome, right? That we do have, wherein we could actually really be so inspired by this latest tech that we want that, all the bells and whistles. But thank you for reminding us also that we need to be able to really discern what's hype versus what's real, and that the value actually of us coming into, solution finding for our clients, our stakeholders, or partners lies really in the understanding of how to use these tools, right? And whether or not it fits that business objective versus being just riding the wave of the latest tool, right? So I really appreciate that reminder, Mitch, because I think everybody has to also have that reminder as we move forward with this fast-paced change of technology. And speaking of that, I actually wanted to circle back to what you shared earlier about finding that human part, because not only are, tech solutions changing, Mitch, but also the world is changing, right? Our consumer behavior is changing. Economics is also, changing around the world. Now, how does Point West keep up with that? Because it's not just about the solutions or tech, right? But also the markets that we deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's actually, probably even more important in this equation because, as we said earlier, it's all about ensuring that we're using technology as part of a broader solution that is anchored in solving something, of value. And whether it is attacking a problem or it's creating a net new opportunity. And I think that it requires us every day to be just incredibly good learners. It means that we've got to read, we've got to engage. It's about what's in the news. I call this signal spotting, where we need to be paying attention to what's happening around us. Some of it, is a little bit more obvious than others. You can read a headline, but some of it, as you said, is paying more attention to behaviors and how those on the ground are changing. Walk into a restaurant, walk into, a retailer or a bank, and take note of how people are interacting and the expectations that they have. And that helps us to spot those signals that in turn tell us that there's an opportunity. And that opportunity, in turn requires a solution. And I think that's why, every day we're really thinking within the context of solutioning, enabled, as I said, by a combination of elements, including technology. But it's just paying attention. And that is important because, sometimes you're just so focused on what it is that you're doing that you can have tunnel vision. And, in a good way, that means we're highly focused, but in a bad way, it means that we're really missing out on understanding the bigger picture. We're missing out on seeing how things connect. And I think particularly today, more and more connections are possible. Being able to see, understand what those connections are and how to optimize those connections is absolutely essential.
Absolutely, Mitch. It made me think about the importance of curiosity, right? In terms of being able to continue finding actually opportunities for growth and finding ways to level up. I think that's one of the things that you were also mentioning earlier. And aside from being able to spot what's hype versus what's real, I wanted to add what's noise versus what's gold, right? Because I think with your signal spotting technique, it's also having to comb through the noise, right, Mitch, and being able to really see what would add value and what is just surface level. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I do. And I also think too that, in spite of all this complexity, we've got to keep things simple. And, I think when you look at trying to differentiate what is noise versus what is gold, it's also keeping things very simple. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a relatively simple question in terms of how can I generate, more value? How can I make my customers fall in love with me and stay in love with me every day? I mean, these are simple questions. The solutions themselves may be more complex, but I think sometimes we have a tendency to overcomplicate. The reality is day-to-day doesn't require a PhD. It requires common sense. It requires remaining connected, asking questions. Curiosity is essential. But the other thing that I tell my team is that it's not enough to be curious. You actually have to care. So, yeah, I want to know why things are happening, but I got to care about the so what in a way that allows me to then bring a solution that addresses this for my customers.
Mitch, I absolutely love that, the caring part, because, we don't want to lose the human side of things when we focus on technology, right? That caring is what will actually prompt us to create those solutions, right? Because we have, you know, ownership in the matter, or we want to actually really change things for the better. So thank you for also giving us that reminder that, care is part of business, right? Of business solutions. And that's what's going to set us apart as well. I wanted to touch though, Mitch, on partnerships, because we have been talking about partnerships, whether it's partnerships with clients or, collaborations with also other, stakeholders or companies that can help us with our goals. How important is partnerships in our line of business, Mitch? And how does this actually help us in strengthening ties with our clients?
I think it goes back to what I was sharing earlier, that there's no one person, no one provider that has all the answers. I think that we're operating a role today where what ultimately is going to differentiate those companies that are really great at what they do from everyone else is the set of ecosystem partnerships that they're able to cultivate and grow. And I think, again, it goes back to this analogy of being able to assemble Lego bricks that together really create an incredibly compelling, comprehensive solution. We know that we're great in some things, but we can't be great in all things. And that's where these partnerships come in. And at Pointwest, we really think about, I would say, three different types of partnerships. We have strategic partnerships where we're really together going to market to be able to bring something together that nobody else can. We have technology partnerships where we are bringing a service or a solutioning capability alongside a technology that a partner is able to bring. And we have a service partnership as well, where we have partners that are operating in markets where we don't have boots on the ground, that are able to connect with us to be able to bring that additional capability and capacity to their end customers. And I think that you need all three. You need to continue to grow them. You need to use those partnerships to be able to challenge what you do and to force you to raise that bar and to be able to think bigger, not just within the context of what I can do, but what we can do.
I love that. It really does take a village, right, Mitch, to make things happen. And being open to that kind of partnerships will actually show more pathways to success, right? Or bigger opportunities, as you said, to look big picture. And speaking of partnerships, Mitch, that have really opened doors and have also really, pushed Point West's commitment to our next generation talents. I know that you had a cool project. I want you to be the one to tell our listeners what that is. So I'm zipping. You did work on this recent project that you're very, very passionate about, and it talks about the next gen talent. Can you tell us what that cool project was and how you really saw this open opportunities or doors for other people?
So we partnered with AWS as well as with Educacion to sponsor an AI hackathon. And it was incredible. We had about 11 participating teams from universities across, Metro Manila. We put some intentional focus on trying to expand participation to those that may be underrepresented. And it was an opportunity over a couple week periods to be able to first bring folks in that just had natural interest or curiosity about Gen AI. We put them through a crash course, and then armed, with enough knowledge to be dangerous, we set them out to attack a problem in the world. And it was incredible to see what folks were able to come back with. We had one team, as an example, that's developed an AI solution that is intended to help farmers to more effectively produce their crops and to be more efficient, and to recognize that a lot of farmers are disconnected. They don't have the latest access to all the great data about weather, what seeds to plant in what soil. And so that's an example of using AI, for real good. Another one was focused on helping consumers to identify fraudulent prescription medicine, which is pretty interesting. Another one, set up a chatbot as a means of being able to provide tutoring services, to those that, can't afford to be able to have access to that on their own. So a lot of different use cases, all very much focused on trying to solve some societal challenges. And, it's an example of where you don't need to be able to aim for the moon to be able to make an impact. These are, very bite-sized use cases that they came up with. They did so over a period of, a few weeks. And they left not only having learned more, but they're incredibly passionate. And one of the things that's so cool for us is that some of them, have now come and started, internships or jobs with Pointwest. Others have now said that this is what they want to pursue, in their careers, and it opened their eyes to some possibilities. And for me, what I'm really passionate about is helping in the Philippines for us to lead this AI revolution. And it starts with this next generation, exposing them, giving them the opportunities that they may not have, and helping them to see that there are opportunities to be able to use this for good. You can commercialize it, you can scale it. And so now I feel like we've evangelized about 30 or so folks, and that's just a first start for us.
I love what you said, Mitch. It's just the first start. And I can just imagine how inspired you felt of these students that just came together and said they want to tackle societal issues. And just listening to the Agri project, I mean, that's something that you wouldn't think, like to put AI in, farming, but it makes sense. And that's what we actually need. So I absolutely love this. Could you share more insights, Mitch, on how you think these kinds of projects with the next gen talent actually inspire them or help them with their career trajectories? I mean, of course, some people are already taking internships at Pointwest. So, and any other insights from you, Mitch?
We said before that it's not enough to be curious, you have to care. And I think, particularly with the next generation, that is probably more important to the overall value proposition of joining a company as anything else. It certainly trumps compensation, it trumps benefits. It's very important to wake up every day and feel a sense of purpose. And that purpose, goes well beyond what maybe previous generations were very focused on. It's not about career progression. It's not about compensation. It really is about making a difference and really using technology to enable that. And so I think that's how you create that excitement. And it's really important because people do want to make that difference. And I think some of this probably became even more important with COVID. It helped to put everything in perspective. What really is important? What do you want to do in life? What do you want to stand for? And I think that this next generation is looking at technology as a means to an end rather than, as an end. It's just a career. No, it's a means to being able to truly make that impact on the world that you're seeking. And that, I think, is what is so exciting. And that is something that is going to pay dividends for future generations.
Absolutely, Mitch. And we started this conversation with excitement, right? That you mentioned earlier. Like, you're so excited with the progress that you guys are doing. I'm so excited with the results of your different projects, especially with your partnerships with, hackathons and preparing our next gen talent to really think about changing the world. I don't think it's a cliche. I think it's just absolutely important for us to have that drive. What can we expect with Pointwest moving forward? What is that exciting journey looking like for you?
I mean, it's continuing to raise the bar, and we start first with our people. I think that for us, it doesn't matter about all these fantastic technologies, methodologies, processes. We got to have the right people. We got to have the right culture, and that will unlock this exciting future more than anything else that we're talking about. And so, to be honest, I love to dream, but I don't want to dream in such vivid ways as to really limit what this path to the future looks like. I love waking up every day and having that spontaneity based on imagination of what's possible today. And frankly, what I think is possible tomorrow may be very different tomorrow. And so I think we're really working hard every day to encourage that experimentation, taking chances, being very comfortable with the uncertain, the unknown, and really going where the future takes us. And I'm very excited about the opportunities. And I've lived on and off in the Philippines for the last 20 plus years. I'm really, really passionate about seeing the Philippines in particular lead the way. There is so much talent. And when I first came to the Philippines, the focus was on our call center talent, our BPO talent. And today I think that we've got so much more opportunity to be able to create value, through technology, through data science, to be able to truly make our mark, not just on helping a company save money, but to be able to solve cancer, solve hunger, solve these big issues that everyone around the world is focused on. There's no reason why we can't solve those issues with Filipino talent. That's what Pointwest is all about. And that's why I come to work every day so darn excited.
Me too, Mitch. I was just like, yes, let's solve all the world's problems. And thank you so much, Mitch, for having that absolute certainty, right? That we all can make a difference and be part of that solution, believing in the Filipino talent, believing in our curiosity and our ability to care, our malasakit. It just makes so much difference, being able to see the value that we can bring to the table. And I appreciate all the different learnings that you've shared with us, this morning. I'm not sure if you even know this, Mitch, but we've been talking for, more than, half an hour already. And while it's closing this breakfast conversation with you, I want to ask you, out of everything that we've talked about, Mitch, if there was a food for thought that you would like to leave our listeners with as they continue on with their day, with their week, with their month, what would it be?
I think it's to find your purpose, come to work, come to life every day, caring about that purpose, and really making that lasting impact. Think about technology more as the enabler, and bring people along with you on that journey as well.
That's fantastic, Mitch. I mean, I have a lot of food for thought that I'm taking with me, but clarity of purpose really takes it all. Just having that will really lead you true north, right? Because you have that clarity of purpose. But if I may add things that I've really, that really resonated with me, ladies and gents, of what Mitch shared, it's also about, having the combination of being curious, but also caring, which I think will really lead to that creating value or solution finding, and also being able to really check, what's hype, what's real, what's noise, what's gold, but more importantly, being comfortable in that uncertainty and letting that be the one to stir the pot and get you inspired to move forward. So Mitch, I learned a lot from you today. I believe all of our listeners have. And if they want to learn more about Pointwest, Mitch, where should they go, and how do you want them to get in contact with you?
You can go to pointwest.com. You can check us out on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We'd love to be able to connect and find ways for us to help you to truly deliver transformation at the speed of digital.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, really delivering transformation at the speed of digital with curiosity, care, and clarity of purpose. Ladies and gents, we heard from Mitch Gross, CEO of Pointwest, and it's just been an inspiring, exciting filled morning, filled with lessons, with food for thought, with really highlighting the importance of partnership, of answering a business objective by co-solutioning, and making sure that when we do develop solutions, it's for the good of all and having strong, lasting impact. We've also talked about digital transformation and making sure that what we do is actually fit with our companies, and the importance of partnerships to inspire the next generation talent. I want to thank Mitch Gross for being with us here at B2B Breakfast to Business. Mitch, thank you for your time, thank you for your energy, and thank you for inspiring us to actually move forward, that even if it's at the speed of digital, we do not forget the importance of care. Thank you so much, Mitch.
Thanks, Bay. I love the energy too.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another Breakfast to Business conversation with your morning girl, Bea Lim, and CEO of Pointwest, Mitch Gross. We will see you in our next breakfast conversation soon. Don't forget your food for thought and tidbits. Take them with you and sally forth as we conquer the week. Thank you. Ciao. That's it for today's episode of B2B Breakfast to Business with your morning girl, Bea Lim. Join our Facebook community, the Breakfast to Business Club, where we can delve deeper into all of these different topics. Also, please don't forget to tune in to TeamAsia's social media accounts to keep yourself updated on these breakfast happenings. Remember to stay safe. See you again soon here at B2B Breakfast to Business. Thank you. Ciao.
Breakfast to